lens, and so the image fills your entire periphery, and so you're watching this thing kind of looking up, and it's like all your periphery is filled with this amazing footage that gets shot in some of the best cameras in the world with this giant film. It's a 70 millimeter film. There's rolls that weigh like a ton or whatever, and while you're going up on this theater, you get to see them changing. Anyways, the experience of watching a movie in a theater of such scale and stuff before we were 10 years old, I think made such a huge impression that I'm like, I want to make movies when I grow up, And I don't necessarily remember thinking that way, but I've always carried a camera and stuff, and I always wanted to do that. And so when I started Jag 35 5 years ago, 6 years ago, it was because I wanted to shoot movies, because I wanted to shoot video, and we got a video camera, and we're like, I stumbled upon a thing that I could do to a camera to change the way it looked, to make it more like film, and no one else was making it. And so then, there's a way to make money. And then here I am 6 years later. I'm kind of went through the whole, range of like setting up a company, getting employees, and then, doing this whole thing, all stuff that was new to me, all stuff that I necessarily was not interested on. It was exciting because it was new and I was figuring new things. And, it was you kind of get validated, it's like, oh, I'm not a complete loser. I didn't finish high school, but look at this. I can have a company. I can have employees. I can make things that people want to buy. And so it was cool and all. It just wasn't my dream. The only dream that I've ever had is really making movies. And I kind of, at this stage in my life, I realized that maybe making a movie, it's not something that is going to happen in my lifetime, and not in the way that I used to envision it, like a feature film, 2-hour film or whatever. Because not a lot of people get to do those kinds of movies. But I do want to make content. I want to tell stories and stuff. And so that's what gets me in here. I'm ready to change from being, running a company that makes physical goods, camera accessories for consumer, video equipment, to actually getting down and making content, because that is more fulfilling right now. I don't know exactly how long that's going to be. Maybe 5 years from now, I'll be like, I'm sick and tired of all this movie. I want, making products and selling retail stuff was a lot better. I want to do that. Could be, but I doubt it. You know what I mean? This kind of feels like 6 years ago when we were starting Jag. I feel excited. I don't feel sad about letting go of something like that. Jag is going to be alive for a while. It's still generating sales, and it's still doing. It's just not enough. It's more like a source of. It's more a source of stress these days, and so that's kind of why I want out. I want to do something that feels good. I want to be excited to get up and do something. And throughout this stressful time, I've been doing these videos, and I'm like, this is the thing that has kept me sane all this time. It's like I don't have the time to do them, but I still choose to do that other than something that doesn't feel right, and it's not, and it's not doing the thing that it's supposed to do, which is, kind of pay my bills at the level that I want to be. You know what I mean? So I've been stressing out for a long time, and I think it's time to move on. And I feel excited about it. That's when you're doing something good, when you're like, I'm leaving this thing that has been paying my bills, that it was exciting at one point, and yet I'm excited about it. I think that's one way of knowing that you're doing something right. So that is the story about kind of changing careers. And it starts here, and it starts with you guys. Like, the people on the other side of this screen, you guys are the ones that are going to make that possible, by joining every time that we kind of put a video up, and by commenting and by joining our conversations and stuff. And so, yeah, I want to thank you all guys for joining us.
Cool. That's really cool. But I guess, what are some of the ways that you plan on finding that you can actually generate some income through creating content?
Well, there's a bunch of ways. Yeah, YouTube puts ads on all the videos, and as annoying as they are, they're really, what I was going to make it possible. It's not a whole lot of money. I've talked about this before, but it's a little bit here and there. It's like, I think in the course of like 1 million views, I think YouTube paid me like $1,200 or something like that. So that gives you a rough idea. It is hugely different between content creators. Like, my content won't pay some like that amount. Some other people are making $500 off of each million. Some people are making $5,000 off of each million views. It's super hard to figure it out. Like, YouTube has these crazy algorithms that are they don't give you all the info to be able to completely figure it out. And so it's all over the place, like I've heard about some content creators that like it goes just crazy. 1 month is like crazy amount of money, and then the next is like almost nothing. And so that's why you have to use other stuff. So we're starting to do that. This one last video I did, we're starting to take partnerships and stuff. So because then they pay a little bit better. Amazon pays a little bit better, and Amazon is a company that I believe in. I'm a Prime member of Amazon. Like, all the stuff that we get here in the office, from office supplies to a lot of the stuff that I'm using now to make our products too, a lot of components and stuff are becoming available on Amazon. And with Amazon Prime, you kind of get them. It's like free shipping, I think, for like a year or something. So it's a product we believe. We use it here all the time. And so with the affiliate thing, all those products that I'm talking about, that it used to be a thing where I used to shy away from having to answer the same question all the time. Like, where do you get the batteries? Where do you get this thing? Where do you get this charger? Where do you, it was a lot of work. I used to be like, I got to answer that question for the 10th time today. And I got to put the link, I put the link there, but people don't read it. And there's 10 comments down below that ask the same question. I got to go and paste the comment. So it used to be something that it used to be like a bad thing, because I had to spend all this time answering the same question. But now it's like the incentive is that, the better I do that, then the more chances that people are ending up in Amazon. And if they purchase something, then, we get a little bit of love. We get, a little bit of commissions for anything that sells, that we sell people. And so now, it makes it that work that doesn't go unpaid. And so now, that's sort of another way that we're going to do that. Eventually, the plan is to get like bigger sponsors that are going to get in, that are going to believe in us directly and what we're doing. And so we don't have to have very long pitches and stuff. No one wants to sit through a giant long commercial, right? I understand that. I shy away from that. In fact, I stopped watching TV years ago. I want to say probably 4 or 5 years ago. For that same reason, I thought it was a weird thing. Like, TV used to be this thing that the only reason why, so in order to pay it, you would get commercials, right? And then once the cable companies started producing and delivering that, not through the air, not through broadcast, but through the thing, you would pay a fee because, there was no advertisement. So you wouldn't have commercials, except that little by little, they started introducing commercials there. And now all of a sudden you're paying for the delivery of this service that you were paying because they had no advertisements. And now you get to see a bunch of advertisements, right? It was the same thing with the dish technology. I remember in the 80s, and TJ, there was like with those big giant 18-inch dishes, it was like free. And then they would charge you because you wouldn't get commercials. You get programs. It's the same thing now with the satellite and all those networks and the cable networks. You're getting all these commercials where the thing originally wasn't for that. And so I kind of understand and shy away from all that stuff. And so that's what we're trying to, I think in the future, we're going to try to sign up with the people and companies that kind of believe in the content and believe in the stuff that we're doing, so that we don't have to constantly be like, buy this and follow us here and do the thing. You know what I mean? Right now, I think because I'm kind of starting, I feel more compelled to do that to get to the place where we're there. But I think essentially will be the aim. We're also doing that Patreon thing, but it still feels funny to take money from people. I know you guys are very generous and you guys are sending, it's like we had tons of requests before we put a donation link on some of our videos for the longest time, and so eventually we were like, oh, let's do it, so we did it. And people are generous and they donate because they know that creating content, it's a time consuming thing. You know what I mean? It's a full-time job. If I were to add all the hours that I've spent making videos, it's definitely, it's like a full-time job. And so we're trying to shy away. I know you guys are generous and you guys want to give. I still feel kind of funny taking money on Patreon, but we are taking advantage of it that now. Eventually, I think I feel more comfortable taking money from Amazon and from some of the other sponsors that are going to come in the future. And then we want to do something like interesting with Patreon, where we get some of that money that you guys are generous in giving us, and maybe like flow it back into some other content creators, people that are doing light stuff like us. You know what I mean? Like if I'm talking about batteries, someone else is talking about batteries, then we can kind of create a little community and stuff. And so those are the plans that we have to do that. But we definitely feeling the love from you guys, and we want to appreciate all your guys' views, your comments, your likes, your shares, and all the donations that come through all the different forms of that we're setting up for the channel and stuff. It is definitely what it's going to make this possible. And so I feel very humble, and I feel real thankful for you guys. All right.
So that's, I guess you kind of talked a little bit about
Amazon.
Patreon.
Yes.
And what was the other thing?
eBay. We've also set up a little thing with eBay too, but
YouTube ads. Like that's the
the
first thing.
The YouTube ads, yeah.
And and eBay is the thing that we're kind of trying out, but we don't have enough data yet.
Yeah.
To know how that's going to work out.
It's only been like literally like 10 days since we tried it. And the only reason I did it is because there's some stuff that is for sale there that I buy, and I couldn't find it anywhere else. And really, eBay is really good for buying. It's not so much good for selling. I am like up to here with eBay, and actually on the selling side of Amazon too. It's like, it's not, they really beat up their their manufacturers. Well, we are a manufacturer. We manufacture stuff and we sell it to Amazon, so then they can sell it to you guys. And they really beat us up. They're finding ways to holding on to our money, and their systems are so lengthy, and it's like I have to fight with them every order I send them. Is like, oh, you gotta, we didn't get it. And I'm going like, there's just tracking is right there. What are you talking about? And so now you have to go through this lengthy process where we have to provide extra information, so that we can prove that they received the order that we send them, and we follow the 12 steps to process their order. So we kind of understand that they beat up that way, the little guys. But the reason is because they offer the same thing to the clients. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only way I think Amazon can do like hassle-free returns and stuff, which is super awesome on the consumer side. You know what I mean? It's like it is the reason why I believe so strongly on Amazon. I use it. It's the greatest thing in the world. And once they have those drone things, and if you live in some of the like metropolitan areas where they can deliver like within 1 hour, it's just incredible stuff. eBay is the same thing. You can get a lot. What? Oh. Oh yeah. Yeah, eBay is really good for buying stuff. You can find some good deals there all the time. Don't sell anything there because you get no one bidding on it, and you got to sell it for a really good deal. But buying, yeah, it's good. And so that's the reason why we sign up a thing, because some of the stuff that we want to sell, some of the stuff that we use and we buy there, we want to give you guys a link so that you guys can go and purchase it there and stuff. You know, I kind of realized that all the time that I've spent reading and following threads and trying things, not everyone has the ability to do that, or the time, the patience. I don't think myself as a very patient guy, but there was a couple of days ago where some of the videos or whatever, someone commented, is like, oh yeah, this guy is the most patient guy I know, to be able to sit there for months and months, almost the better part of the year, and test batteries so that I can do this Powerwall thing that I did. I don't think of it that way, but I guess, yeah, not everyone has the means and the patience to be able to do that. And so I realized that the information has some value to a lot of people. And so, yeah, if we can create links where you can just directly go and buy the stuff and make a project or whatever, some of the projects that we believe in and we want you guys to do, yeah, it's a way that we can provide something valuable for you guys. So
I think that I didn't fix my mic. Does it sound worse?
I can't tell.
Like if I put my headphones on, I sound super echoey.
But I can't, you know, sounds to me like it sounds better this time. But I still didn't spend much time trying to figure out if, you know, if it's working better.
Yeah, I keep thinking that. But I don't think that's the case.
about what?
This says that we can only, they can probably hear me only because of your mic.
No, this is not the mic.
Yeah,
I can hear you from your mic.
So,
Look, this is the mic that
this is my mic, and if I bring it up in volume,
yeah, that's loud.
like that's really loud, right?
Yeah, that's loud.
And but so I don't know what that sounds like. Does it still sound super echoey, or like I only feel like I sound echoey because when I put my headphones on, I can hear everyone else and I can hear myself, and it sounds echoey, but it's weird. I don't know.
You need a new computer.
I do need a new computer, actually. Well, this is working with the Rode mic now. So if that sounds great, then that's probably because Rode makes great mics.
Although, are you sure you're in the Rode mic? Let's see. Click.
I think so. Look, I put my volume up, and that's when it says it sounds loud now, right?
Yeah, it sounds loud.
If I lower it, then and I'm controlling this through the Zoom.
Yeah.
I think it's yeah.
Lower it because it's too loud.
Yeah, we're too close to each other. That's what that guy's saying.
Oh,
is that why that we're echoey? Is that the problem?
Oh, I could fix that.
Jehu is gonna go away. Well, we could try it, I guess, and see if that works out a little bit better. Let's see. We've got Barton.
How
do you pronounce your name?
Hey,
he's trying to connect.
Driving Mall says, "Have you heard of Me? It's a new live stream app."
Oh, you got a poor internet signal there.
Who? Me? Oh, them.
No, not you.
Oh, Barton.
So, what is that like? Oh, you know what? I can't hear myself being echoey anymore.
Oh, that's what it was. See, why don't we not listen to our audience?
Darrell, you were totally right.
What?
Thank you for that. I think that totally solved our problem.
Yes. All we have to do is just.
I mean, we thought that before. It's like, why do we have to change rooms?
It's nice and warm in there. Now I'm over here in the
cold room.
Yeah, well, it's not cold, but it's it's ugly. Whatever. I don't know. It's all the parts. There's all the parts that we get. Look at this. This is a part that I made for the Red camera. No one ever wanted it. Those Red guys.
We got some people using that on the Red. It's just not enough people,
Those Red guys, they didn't like us. The higher end the markets go in the production world, the pickier they are. They're like, oh, these guys don't come from Hollywood. They don't, they're not. So then, yeah, we did really good in the entry level markets until China kind of destroyed that whole thing because they introduced, stuff that is too cheap that we can't touch.
Are you trying to say that Hollywood didn't accept?
They didn't accept us. We were too weird. We were Mexican.
Could that be? Oh my God! Okay, I was gonna say, could that be translated to that Hollywood is racist? But I didn't want to say.
Well, I mean, they gave a Mexican the Director of the Year award last year, but
that doesn't say anything. They were just trying to. They were trying to reach out and be like, we're not racist. They were trying too hard.
Yeah. I think there's too many of us now. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, you're right. If they can afford a Red, they're not going to buy the stuff from the Mexican. Wait, I mean, the affordable products. Yeah.
Yep. So.
So Ever Profits, which is Barton Fisher saying, yeah, for some reason it says that there's poor internet signal. So maybe that's why there's no video. But I think we can hear you, right? If you talk.
Okay, test. Hello.
Oh, yeah,
we could totally hear you. Yeah.
Well.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay.
You're getting some props now because for your voice.
Oh, let me back away from the microphone.
Oh no, we can hear you fine. Sounds good. Loud and clear.
But I can't send my picture for some reason. Is there? Yeah, how do you do that on this thing?
I think it's just because the internet. Maybe if you disconnect and connect back, maybe it'll have a picture.
Oh, I could try. How do I do that?
Are you on a Chrome browser or are you on Safari?
I think this is Firefox.
Oh,
Firefox. Is it the latest version?
Yeah, I get an update every other day from them.
Okay, so then you should be up to speed. But
if you want, I'll try from Chrome.
I think Chrome has given us better results, and also Darrell, who solved our echo problem, is saying that Chrome is the best. So we tend to listen to Darrell because he fixed our echo problem.
Well, maybe you don't want to see my ugly face anyway.
Oh man, I don't know about that. I think you're being too harsh on yourself. I mean, look at us. We're out there.
Yeah, I'm looking at a couple ugly guys.
Yeah, there you go. See?
Oh no, that cute Mexican there though.
There you go. See, that's more like it.
I think for Mexicans, we're good looking. When you press the other, that's what happens.
Yeah. So maybe go ahead and try it.
Okay, I'll try on Chrome and see what happens.
Yeah, that way we know who we're talking to.
Okay.
That's the whole thing about this whole platform. I think being able to see each other and hear each other. It's all
I didn't even have a Twitter account until just a few seconds ago. Well, actually, I went to log in and it said, "Oh, I had Ever Profits." Well, I don't know what that is, but it worked.
You created that like 2 years ago and totally.
Yeah, right. As soon as I tried to log in, it goes, "You're Ever Profits." All right.
We've all been there. We have these old accounts that we never used. And, yeah. Okay. We're creating people into Twitter users. I think we've been doing that for a long time.
Well, the connection's really good. I mean, you guys are like live.
We also have a crazy files 50 megabit upload speeds, which is pretty good, I think, for doing this kind of thing. And we just got lucky because for a long time we didn't have that. Like we couldn't get files, we couldn't get faster than 4G connection on our office. And then last year, for whatever reason, they're like, oh, we can do Fios now. And then we were able to get it here. And after that, we were able to have a really fast connection. So
okay, I'm on Chrome and Firefox, and I'm hearing myself 2 times.
Oh, I hate that. You may need to close one of them.
Okay, I'm quitting.
Okay. Thanks for the help, Darrell. It's really helpful when we have someone that actually knows
stuff,
all the technical stuff. Actually, last time it was our first time, and we had somebody really like kind of go step by step and show us like all the ins and outs of Blab. And obviously, we didn't learn everything because we still need some pointers. But it was really helpful to have someone kind of help us out. So I almost feel like, are you here because of you're a Blab user more so than you know who we are, or are you here because of the EV show or not the EV show, the Samba project? Oh, there we go.
There we
Barton.
go.
Give myself in
the frame.
Wow, we got a good connection now, and I think it was again Darrell that fixed it because he told us to use Chrome.
Yeah, tell him don't use Firefox.
Yeah, Firefox no good for Blab.
So,
great to have you.
All right, cool. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this.
Wow, the first time on the internet.
Yeah, first time on the internet.
Yeah.
But I have been following all your videos, and I actually have solar in the house.
All right.
And I was looking at that power wall. I'm trying to figure out how I could use that because I'm actually a grid tie-in. So, but I'm thinking I can come in at the on the DC side of the solar, which is about 350 volts. About 21 amps.
Oh, really? That's how your system is? It's all your solar's tied in like in series?
Yeah, it's in series. So there's like 11 panels at 230 watts, I think it is.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then there's 3 sets of 11s. So I think there's 7 amps per string, and that'd be 21 amps total. But the voltage is around 350.
Oh, wow. And so that's what your inverter converts then.
Right. Then that DC goes into the Sunny Boy, and then AC comes out. So I was thinking with the Powerwall, if I could figure out how to keep the batteries charged. I don't know if I'd want to charge directly from the batteries or from the solar panels.
No, because that voltage goes all over the place. You would need to have some form of,
so that would be
a charge controller. Yeah.
So are there any cars that run at 350?
Oh yeah. The well, yeah, I think Tesla Model S runs around that. I think it's like, so it's,
I mean, the inverter will go to 600 volts.
Oh, really?
So I could actually go more. I don't know what that would do to the panels.
Oh, yeah. So the smart cars, the one that I have here, runs, it's 6 modules, right? So let me pull up my calculator. Got to keep in mind, I didn't graduate high school, so. So
true story, by the way.
You do pretty good for a dumb guy.
15 cells times 6 modules. So that's 90 cells times 3.7. So the nominal voltage on the smart cars is 333 volts.
333. That would keep it running.
Yeah, and so then at full, let's say that if you don't want to charge your batteries all the way, or you wanted to charge them all the way, let's see, it would be 4.2 volts times 90 cells in series. So it'd be 378. So that's what. So there is the charger. Michael at EV West is selling both the modules and the charger. The only problem is that no one's really figured out how to work that out quite yet. So the thing is, he's got complete systems that are working, but by law, he can't sell you a complete system that works. He can sell you components, and I guess if you buy all the components together and you hook them up again, legally, I guess he didn't sell you a fully functional system, right?
Well, is the charger 120 or 220 AC in?
Yeah.
Or can I charge from the DC coming in from the panel?
Oh yeah, that's the thing. No, it would have to be from standard. I think from standard sockets, which is like level 1, level 2. I think that's the only thing that accepts. But it would.
Okay, so theoretically, I could take the inverter output and run that to the charger.
Yeah.
The charger charges the batteries, and then I need something to feed the battery output back into the DC part of the inverter.
Yeah.
So that probably should be some kind of a relay or something that will take it offline.
Yeah. I didn't think that some of those systems run that high. I know the other way is the distributed system, right, which it has the little micro inverters. And so what's coming off of the roof is not really DC, it's like AC already.
AC, yeah.
So they just kind of parallel all those through. And,
yeah. I went with the central inverter, but now in retrospect, I'm thinking I probably should have went with the individual one.
Yeah.
The only reason why I thought that was because if, say, in an all-out the shit hits the fan situation, I'd still have DC power, and I could take that and break them into smaller panels, strings, and charge regular 12-volt batteries for that. Well, 24-volt maybe, but so I was thinking I could take the whole thing apart and you'd still utilize the voltage, whereas right now, if the grid goes down, so does the inverter.
Because the inverter is the type that needs to have an AC.
Right.
Yeah.
So I thought, maybe I could trick the inverter into thinking that the AC is there by putting something like the little micro inverter on a single panel.
Yeah.
And as long as that thing is providing power to the grid, then the Sunny Boy should stay on. That's my theory. I'm sure it's completely illegal, but
it is, yeah.
But I thought if all my neighbors don't have power, who cares?
Yeah. Who's gonna call? No one.
Yeah. Who's gonna call the cops?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they're not gonna have any power to call, so they won't be able to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with your project, I was thinking, well, that means I could probably get power, maybe, halfway through the night for free.
Yeah.
So using the power wall.
Yeah. So charge it off peak hours.
Yeah, charge it during the daytime when I got, I'm sending it to the utility. Yeah. Just tap into that and charge my batteries up. And then at night when the sun goes down, the inverter attempts to shut down. I could just feed that power back into the DC part, and it's like, the sun's back out again. And then I just deplete the batteries down to whatever the safe level is, and then I'd go back to utility.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that can be done. I don't see how that would be too hard. You have to match the cells to around whatever the. The thing is, I don't know how much your panels what the variance is from an overcast day to like a sunny day. It's like
I don't know either.
If they're all stringed up in series, then that voltage is gonna vary wildly. You know what I mean? It's gonna be 200 volts right now, and tomorrow on a sunniest day or sunnier day is gonna be like 400 volts.
Exactly.
That's the problem with that. So then you would need to have a DC to DC basically to get all that power from the panels, and then shape it into something more more controllable.
Oh yeah, feed it into a DC. So at whatever voltage it gets on the input, it always puts out a constant.
Yeah, or whatever the range is on the cells. Yeah.
Okay, I need to find me one of those.
Yeah, I mean the charger that I was making, the DIY open source one. Essentially, that's what it was. It was just a big giant DC to DC, and this thing would take AC or DC, and I could charge one car or one battery kit, and you'd let it know what it was coming in and what was going out.
Well, that's why I'm waiting for you to get to part 2 when you start.
Yeah, I need to finish that thing.
Hurry up, man!
It's a 10 kilowatt DC to DC. It's a thing that doesn't quite exist out there, other than if you make it on your own.
I don't remember who the outfit was. Maybe it was the one you were talking about. But it was kind of expensive. It was like,
yeah, I paid $1,200 or something for mine.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I thought that should be easy to do, but I guess not. Maybe it's not a big demand.
There's not a big demand. There's not a lot of people that need to, convert 10 kilowatts of 400 volts into 300 volts. They're like, who's trying to do that? I don't know. Some crazy guy.
Yeah, some crazy guy. I just want something for free. I mean, nothing else is free. I can't drill a well in my backyard and pump out water, where like the solar, you could put as many panels and keep going until you've completely eliminated your bill. Maybe even run extension cords to your neighbors and, make it a profit center.
There you go. But what part of the world are you living?
California, Southern California.
Oh, you're here. You're my neighbor.
Yeah. Oh, that's one of the reasons why I started watching you. I figured someday you're close by. Yeah, I'm down by Knott's Berry Farm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I used to work down there.
Did you?
12 years we worked over there in Cypress. Yeah, between it was a little street called Global Drive. I used to be a carpenter back there, and I used to drive every day to the freeway, to the 91. Used to drive up Ball Street or Ball Road or whatever. And
I don't go out of Buena Park anymore.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh man, I said if I can buy it in Buena Park, I'm buying it in Buena Park.
Yeah.
Too many crazy people on the road nowadays.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's been years since we've been down there. So, but yeah, that's interesting. You have a full solar. So your solar does not provide enough power to run your entire house. Well, not in the evenings, right? Because in the evenings there's no power.
Well, okay. I use a lot of power. I have a server in the garage, and my bill was running close to $400 a month before the solar.
How many kilowatts a day do you think you use?
You know what? I don't know. I'd have to dig up the bill, but right now it averages out to $50 a month. So we're saving a tremendous amount of money.
Yeah.
And
$400. That's. I have 2 electric cars, and my bills don't get to only the summer.
I complained to Edison. I said, I don't understand. I talked to my neighbors, and they've got 3 refrigerators and TVs in every room, and they just use a huge amount of electricity, and their bill runs $100 a month. I go, why would mine be $400 or $390, whatever it was? And they says, well, you can't go by your neighbors, but we'll come out and check your meter. And so he came out one day, read the meter, and then he left. Came back another day, read the meter. Meter's good.
Meter's good.
It's working.
You got to check your neighbors. Maybe they're like growing pot or something.
That's what I'm thinking. So somebody's tapped into my lines.
Yes.
I thought about it. I totally did. I thought.
I talked to someone the other day because I saw a story where that was happening, right? And for years, Edison was like, there's a lot of energy being lost here somewhere between these 20 houses, because they have the. And so I asked someone that knows about this stuff. I go, how do they deal with that now? He goes, the transformers have a radio now that transmits how many kilowatts are going by. So they have that in all the at different points in the transmission lines, in the different. And so they know where all that extra inefficiency is coming out.
So where it stops, all of a sudden we got a big drop. Go look at that house.
Yeah, exactly.
He's growing pot back there.
There's 5 houses here, 100 kilowatts leave, but the meters and all the 5 houses only add to 50 kilowatts. There's some weird so now they can narrow it down closer to probably 5 houses or something. Yeah.
The new smart meters, I guess, are ratting you out every second. It looks like
they have a radio and they're communicating.
Yeah. Hey, I don't want to hog the thing, so.
All right. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, it's cool. Teach me something.
Next video. Hurry up.
Hey, I just want to find a way that I can hook all those batteries together without soldering them all.
Well,
a huge amount of work.
Well, yeah, it is. Well, that's not the biggest kind of amount of work. It's actually testing the batteries. But here's the thing. Doing the thing that I did is not feasible for everyone, right? It took me better part of a whole year to do that thing. So it's not a viable solution. Now that I'm putting videos out there, everyone's going and bidding on these laptop cells, batteries on eBay. So the prices are they're driving them all the way up, right? So it was just kind of a proof of concept. Like, this is not viable, but you know what? It will be viable. Right now, if you go to eBay, there's an 85 kilowatt battery pack from Model S for $10,000. Now you can buy that battery, and that one already comes in modules that are 6 in series, 72 parallel or something. 5 kilowatts per module. I don't know, about this big or whatever. Already wired, ready to go. You can put one of those in one of those boxes that I made or whatever. It has all the leads for the balancing thing. Some of those guys are selling for about $1,000. I think you can get them for $1,200. I think from here to the end of next year or whatever, those batteries are gonna be more popular. They're gonna be popping out all the time. It's going to become a time where you're going to be able to buy a 5 kilowatt brick of a Model S battery that you can put in your wall, 5 kilowatts for, I don't know, $500 or something. And so then it's going to be a thing that we're going to be able to do. And so if we figure it now, then, in a year or a year and a half when that starts happening, batteries for everyone. Everyone's going to have, 5, 6, 10 kilowatts.
So if you had one of those spot welders that could weld the battery tabs on, would that made it easier for you, or you still think it's more work just to get them all charged up and balanced and tested? I mean, what would that save you of any time? I know you tried it on one of your videos.
Yeah, it wouldn't. Like, soldering didn't actually take that long for me. You get really good at it, like really quickly. You're like, you have a good soldering iron, the thing. You place it. I remember this cell that I did, 600 cells. I literally did it in like one day or something last year before I was trying to leave to this trip. That's the same battery that I put on the Samba, and then that was part of the battery that took me to Lake Havasu last year. The thing that takes the longest is really picking just the right cells. Picking all the good ones from the bad ones. And so. Okay. If you can eliminate that, you can in a weekend put all these 600, 1,200 cells and, get everyone and do the thing, and you have it. It's ready to go.
So what you really need is like some kind of a bulk tester where you could put 50 cells in at once.
Yeah, something that is automated. But it's doable. You still have to crack all those batteries open. You still have to keep an eye on them because, not all of them are good. Some of them, like when you put them in charge, they get overheat and they go, crazy. Like, and so you have to charge them really slow if you don't want to keep an eye on all of them. There's a whole process. And if you could automate that whole thing, it would be great. There's still the problem of getting those cells cheap because now you're competing with, 100 other guys that are bidding on them on eBay.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, I'm going to back out of here.
All right. Thank you for stopping by.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
I don't know how to get myself out. Let me see now.
I was just going to let it happen and see how it goes.
Will it happen on its own?
Okay. He figured it out. Oh, we got a new person that wants to come in and sit down.
All right.
Give me a second, guys. I got to change the camera.
Oh. Yeah.
All right. Hey, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
All right.
Man.
Hey, you're putting ads.
Give me a second.
Here?
Give me a second.
He's spamming us.
He's spamming.
I'm having a Jehu day. There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey.
Okay.
Hey.
I got too many cameras doing too many things. Hey,
yeah,
guys.
man. Hogging all the cameras.
Huh?
Hey, H Center says he gets $1.57 per 2600 milliamp hour cells. Is that on eBay? H Center?
His name's Harrison.
Oh, Harrison. Sorry. How do you get to see his name? I don't get to see his name.
Well, you click on his Twitter account, right? You click on his name, and then it'll tell you a little bit more of his info.
All right. So what's up, Rick? How's it going?
Pretty good. Been pushing a lot on that automated system, that automated smart pack. Got a bunch of stuff up today, some drawings, and it's going forward. So good news on that. Got now I got some. I got a 30 amp 18650 coming in. I'm kind of curious to see what that does. You know, I was reading the data sheets, and the mother goes up to 103 degrees centigrade when it's running. So I don't think it's going to be very useful. But
that's not normal operating.
No, it's a Sony cell that they tweaked. So it's weird because the more current you pull, the hotter it gets. The hotter it gets, the more current you can pull. Yeah. There's no limiting. So
until it catches fire.
Now I can't catch fire because it'll go dead too soon.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because let's see.
But at $10 a cell, it's not really useful to us, you know.
No, I mean it is if you're building like a drill, and in fact that's what my Makina drills use. Yeah,
I could see short range stuff like pulse type stuff. You know, the vapors, they love that stuff because they only need a 5 or 15-second pulse, very high current, and then I don't know. I guess they get stoned for about 3 minutes and then they do it again. You know. Who knows, I haven't tried any of that. Probably won't. But, hey, that was a good video on that balancing. I like the way that you just basically tell them it just depends on what you're doing and I don't need it, Yeah. I mean, too many people are scared to actually just say, listen, you don't have to use it if you don't need it.
Here's the thing. I want to make a video that talks about what they're talking. It's not completely wrong. All these people that are like, what you're doing is dangerous. It is dangerous. It is dangerous. It's just as dangerous as getting in your car and then driving to the store. Well, highly dangerous activity that we all engage in every day, right? But it's like we evaluate the risk and we're like, okay, we're good with that kind of risk, with that amount of risk. We're gonna do this dangerous activity. With batteries, the thing is blown out of proportion.
Yeah. The thing is, if you're going to go ahead and have a moderate to light drain, you never run into those situations. So, you don't ever get into any sort of a dangerous area. If you're going to go out and you're going to drag on the raceway with an electric car, that's a different thing altogether. It's all dependent upon the application. Problem is there's a lot of YouTube experts because they took a lot of batteries out of a pack. And they, and now they know it all, and
they read a paper or something. They read the instructions.
My degree is from University of YouTube.
Yes,
something like that. But my favorite is I got a master's in blow up you.
Oh no, I read I like one that said, "Well, that's not going to run your entire house." And I go, it's a 4 kilowatt battery pack. It's not going to run your entire house.
Well,
you need a bigger.
How big is your house?
Yeah, exactly.
How long you want to run it? I mean, 3 lights.
Yeah.
If you put 3 lights in a brownout or a blackout down here, you got people with guns looking for you. I mean, it's all depends. But
I mean, my Samba needs 44 kilowatts, just to make it 100 miles. So your house is not. You're gonna need a whole wall of these things to be able to power your house for any lengthy amount of time, right? It was just a proof of concept, I think, and people just don't get it. They don't.
But you know what I'm seeing now, which the younger generations are really moving towards, are all the smart devices. That if you don't need it, it just powers itself off, and then they request whether or not they can turn on with some type of a, I guess you'd have to call it a battery management system or a power management system. And so, we may be dinosaurs where we flip the light on and it just comes on. In 10 or 15 years, you may flip a light on that says, "Hey, I want light," and then somebody may say, "Really? You really want light?" Let's see, how much power do we have? And then a priority list says, "Yeah, you can have it," or "No, we're reserving that for the refrigerator." So it's all changing. But I don't see that in the samba, though.
No?
No, man. Hey, you're one of these guys wants all power right now.
Yeah. No, I only asked like 80 kilowatts off of that pack. It's no big deal. It's a 44 kilowatt pack and kilowatt hour pack. And then I'll get those guys that are going to yell at me for not saying the hour, kilowatt hour.
Yeah, one guy. I guess you like going up hills, huh?
Yeah, I guess. One guy was like, "I won't take anything seriously from a guy that keeps mistaking the two, one for the other one." And I thought, well, I won't take anything serious for someone that can't let such a small little thing go. So,
well, it's just the way with people. There's people who do it, and then there's people who watch people who do it, and there's people who hate people who can do it. You just fall into those bins, and you just decide where you want to be. Yeah, you know how it is. I'm sure you've been on many a job where you just let it go. Tomorrow's another day. Yeah. It kind of bothers you, but at the same time, you're not going to fix whatever their problem is.
No,
that's for sure.
Sometimes I give them a little, little jabs back and forth, and then I get them go away.
Yeah.
But
total control, man. I can hit delete.
Yeah. No, I tell them 2 clicks and you're banned.
Yeah. A millimeter above delete, man. One more message, just one more comment.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we've all been there.
And it undoubtedly always goes to you Mexican, you die. Why don't you kill yourself?
I know.
It always leads to okay, you're kind of one of those.
Oh, I know.
You're one of those people,
But the one thing I've found is that the nice thing about bigots is they're pretty non-bigoted in who they're bigoted against. In other words, they don't care. You're just not them, whatever them is. Yeah. And if you're not in that group, well, you're just an outsider. So it could be the clothes you wear, the cars you drive, your skin color, what religion you practice. It don't matter. They got a reason to hate somebody. So, bang, you're it.
Yeah. One guy kept calling me obese.
A what?
You fat, you're obese, and I don't know why you don't understand the English language. And I'm like, well, I'm not, fit or anything, but obese. He kept calling me obese. And I'm like, someone doesn't understand the English language, and that's me. I'm like, what is going on?
You know what you tell those people? You tell them in other cultures, that makes me rich. It means I can eat.
Yeah.
So, it's true. I mean, throughout history, the amount of weight you carry indicated, where you were. I mean, if you couldn't feed yourself or your family, you weren't riding around in a Mercedes or something, So, I don't know. It's kind of strange. We're not going to fix it, that's for sure.
Yep. Don't try. Why try?
Well, the best you can do is raise your kids and try and lead a good life and example. And then the next generation is less that way. And then over time, those people are the ones who stand out. And
totally. Yeah.
We're seeing that a lot right now. I mean, we've got this, I just now fired up CNN, and there's some guy out in Oregon somewhere on some militia thing.
Bundy people? The Bundy, the Grand?
Yeah, the Bundy people.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what all that is about. I mean, there's about 8 different stories going on, but the latest one is how this guy's up there protesting the government that gave him a $500,000 loan. So I'm not real sure, who to believe in all of that. But I'm just glad I'm not anywhere near it.
Yes. I don't like people with guns. I don't like those guys covering their face with their guns.
Hey, down here we have Texas. It's January 1. We got open carry.
Open carry.
Yeah. So basically,
Texas anytime soon.
But here's the thing, right? It's legal only if you have it in a holster, a hip holster, or a shoulder holster. So let me ask you a question. If a guy is walking down the street and he's got an AK, right? And he's got no holster, are you going to go up there and arrest him?
I'm not. I'm going to be like, all right. I'm going to go the other way over there.
Yeah, man, it's Whataburger time, man. Donuts, whatever. But see, so the thing is, there's the law that's on the books, and there's the practical side. Yeah. 99.99% of Texans don't think that way. They don't carry that way. And the Second Amendment, says that you can protect yourself with the same armament, basically, that the government uses. So does that mean I get to own a nuclear missile?
Yeah.
And would I want a lot of my neighbors with nuclear missiles, personal nuclear missiles? No, man. So there's some line you have to draw. And last time I checked, you can't go deer hunting with an AK, So I don't know. But hey, it's silly season, it's presidential election time, so
yeah, that's crazy.
Everybody's come out of the woodwork.
Hey,
I think we should have little dots we put on people, with different colors.
Uh-huh.
And that way we can know how serious they are about what they're talking about.
Okay.
And then like Pinocchio, it just changes color. Instead of the nose growing, it just changes color when they're just lying.
Yeah.
It'd make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
But so what I missed, what did you guys talk about while I was out there working like a dog?
So Mike is asking, do you suppose 18650 quality will get better as the Tesla Gigafactory spins up? More charges, better storage? I don't know. Well, here's the one thing I do want to talk about. People say that you need to balance the different groups of cells, right? And that is true. You do need to balance them. I think the only thing that we kind of disagree is that how often you have to balance it. I have my Samba has 30 groups of cells that have been working together for over a year. And they have less than 10 millivolts of a difference from the highest to the lowest. You know what I mean? And that's how they're working. And so, can they get unbalanced? Yeah, there's a possibility that it could happen. It's very unlikely.
But you understand the absorption part of the charge curve, right? That if you use it, and the way you have yours set up, where they're basically all in parallel with fuses, okay? So you go somewhere, right? Okay, and then you stop. And when you stop, you're not drawing anything out of your packs. So they're self-balancing at that point. The energy is coming out of the strong ones and it's going into the weak ones.
Yeah.
But that takes a certain amount of time, and it has nothing to do with current. That's just how much the chemistry it takes for it to absorb and change. So it's back to being charged.
But that's on the parallel groups.
Yes. But so if you sit somewhere for more than 3 hours, you're not going to get any more balance than that, because that's all the charge it's going to go.
Yeah.
That's why you're always going to, and the 10 millivolts, that's just because you don't have a perfect, conductors from every point to every point. And you've seen that where they always have the wires the same length, and, it's real complicated,
No, and I mean, of course, the thing that could be argued is that, of course, those are Tesla cells. They did very good job at matching them, but these used ones, those are a different story. And it is true. They are a different story. But I have my 12-volt battery on my Samba. Again, it's been there for over a year.
Yeah.
It's 3 cells, right? And in series, and I think it's 20 or something in parallel. I took it off yesterday because I wanted to do the video, and I tend to talk too much. And so I was like, that's another for another day. But anyways, I tested them, and they have like 100 millivolts difference, right? These are used cells.
Yeah.
So there are more likely to get out of balance.
Yeah,
this is a whole year, by the way.
But here's one thing you gotta differentiate. Okay, every cell that's made has its own specific, unique internal resistance with the contacts and the chemistries and everything else. You're not going to get. You can take 100 cells from the same batch. They're not going to have the same ISR. They're just not. Okay, yeah. You're taking it from all kinds of different manufacturers. So how much of that, 10 millivolts or whatever, it's just because of the way the batteries are made.
Yeah. No, but the other
thing is, balance, you may be 100%.
The other thing is that 18650s are among the most produced cells in the world. You know what I mean? Like
1 billion a year.
Yes. So the process is highly highly So if any cell format is less likely to drift due to imperfections or in just from differences in the manufacturing process of those stuff, are 18650s. And I believe that's the reason why Elon chooses them, to put them on the car, because all the studies that have come out is like they're the ones that have the least failed or rate per million or whatever. So I realized that balancing might be a thing that it's more important in some of the other form factors. Some of the prismatics, for example, those are like up to 10% of them have some kind of a small short or some kind of abnormality.
A prismatic doesn't have a canister. It doesn't have a cell case. So as far as pressure is concerned, it's an aluminum bag, man, versus a steel can. So you put 90 psi in a can and you go fill up your tire. You're not going to put 90 psi in a little bitty aluminum bag and then go run to your tire. You're going to be holding it like it's going to blow up on you. Mm-hmm. Well, under normal conditions, you never get to those pressures. But when you start venting, you've got so much that you can absorb within the can. And I saw a video on YouTube. I don't know who it was. This guy talking about how his pack was like half round and all this other kind of stuff. He just kind of let it sit and walked away for 3 days, and he come back and it's back to a normal shape. And now he was going to use it again. I'm like, oh man. I mean, this is like evolution in action. I mean, that pack has already blown all its safety seals. If you ever overcharge it or under discharge it way deep at this point, you don't have any safety built in anymore. You've used it up, and but in his case, it's back to normal. And that's what it is. Now, if you're talking about an 18650, you can go pretty far. It can actually be venting where you're actually seeing it vent. And as long as you don't do whatever you were doing before to make that happen, you stay away from that dangerous area, you can use it pretty much. You see, there's a video out there. I don't know. It's in that group. I put it out there about the guy talking about everybody else who's dropping 2.5 volts, that they're just dropping away the really good batteries. I saw some guy talking about it in there. It's some scientist I forget which group he is. Darren would know. He's a Canadian scientist, I think. And effectively what he's saying is, different chemistries behave differently depending upon what temperature you store them at and how they self-discharge. So the golden rule everybody's saying is, oh man, it's 2.5 volts. Oh no, we got to throw this one away. Well, turns out that in the study this guy did, about 80% of those, he recovered them through a process, and they're actually better than the ones that he had were over 3.5, because those are the ones that are depleted. Those are the ones that don't have a lot of cycles left. So in one case, you've got something that wasn't used very well, not stored very well, but's got a lot of life left. The other was stored perfectly, but you've used up the life. So, you have to almost kind of knock every cell around and, look at it from every corner and twist it. And you just can't make these generic statements that everybody's making, like, oh, 2 volts, just throw these away, or, oh, we charge to 4.25. Okay, well, great. You want to buy your pack all over again, and then like the guys out there, they talk about stopping at 4.1 volts, like with all these chargers, you can change your top end voltage. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're sacrificing 10% capacity and they're getting like 300 or 400 cycles of life.
Yeah.
So it just depends upon what do you want to do with your battery, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
that's the biggest difference right there. Yeah. You want it to last, 2 weeks.
Do you want it to last, or do I want to get over the hill? You know?
Yeah. And so that's the other reason why I always suggested like people do bottom balancing and stuff with top balancing on a car, is because you're always gonna want to make it home, and that means you're gonna have an incentive and over tendency to try to make it home, and you're gonna run up till it dies, till the car doesn't roll anymore. That's just human psychology. You're gonna be like, I'm 2 blocks away from home. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna do it, And so, if you're top balance, you're gonna kill 2, 3, 4 cells.
Yeah.
But if you're bottom balance,
ask me how many times I've run out of gas in a gas car.
Exactly.
I mean, you've got nothing to do with electric technology. It's just the fact is people are going to push it.
Yeah. It's of course you can put a system that prevents you from being able to keep going, right? But if you build a system, you are going to know how to circumvent the system, and you're going to be like, it's late. It's a Sunday night, 2 a.m. I don't want to call a tow truck. It's going to be $400. It's 2 weeks. I'm just going to go for it.
But a little knowledge is dangerous. How many times have every one of us said, oh, we got 2 gallons in reserve, man. That's in the tube going all the way up. So I'll just run on that.
Yes.
But you don't realize the bottom of your gas tank is all full of crap and sediment and stuff. And, and then now you're trying to run down there and you're trying to get a drop of gasoline out of mud. So then you're changing filters and doing all that concept applies. Yeah. I mean, when you're sitting here with a battery, right, and you want to run down in the deep, dark areas, you're going to pay a price, whether it's going to be life cycle or whether, like you said, you're not going to make it home.
Higher risk, too. Yeah.
So, but for everybody watching and everything, I hope you never not make it home. Get an electric car. Yeah. Because you'll probably never hear the end of it from everyone who hears the story, even though they probably run out of gas 20 times more.
Yeah, I've ran out of gas many a time.
Yeah. Well, before I sign off, let me tell you the best one about running out of gas. Okay. Mm-hmm. In the 1970s, we didn't have any fancy ATMs. You had to go and write yourself a check at the grocery store to get money, or you went to the bank. And after a certain hour, you went to the drive-thru. So I had my car, poor broke college kid going there. And so I know I'm pushing it, okay, because you tap on the gauge and nothing happens.
Okay. You're one of those.
Yeah, us old schoolers know what that means. It means it's time to put gas in. So I'm going to the drive-thru so I can write a check. And they had just put in those television cameras so they could see who's coming through the drive-thru, with the pneumatic tubes and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. I run out of gas in the line to go through the drive-thru at the bank. Oh, so I got no choice but to push the car through the drive-thru lane. So some lady is the bank teller watching this car come up. It ain't got no driver.
You're pushing it, yeah.
Because I'm pushing it. So, you only embarrass yourself, once every Tuesday? If you're gonna get upset about stuff like that, you're just never gonna have any fun.
Yeah.
So pushing it is human nature, but you got to laugh at it when it happens. Just probably not that day.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother language you're usually speaking. Yeah. Words your mother told you not to say in public.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys. So tell me about have you picked an inverter yet? What are your thoughts?
No, I haven't. I just kind of been looking at stuff. I was actually looking at some of those UPS's thing. I was watching some videos about some guy that was converting or was beefing up one, right? Because they're not really designed to run continuous.
I watched the same one. And I looked at mine, okay, and his was the rack mount style with the really, really thin transformer. The one I got is the normal tower style. Oh, okay. And when I opened up, that transformer was the size of Goliath, man. It was huge. Oh. So you don't worry about you don't worry about heat when you have that kind, because it's got a lot of metal to, to absorb the heat and expand it. And, but I learned a lot from him regarding these UPSs. I got lucky because the one I got had that $400 network card was stuck inside of it, and they didn't know what it did. And so basically, once I got it up and going, I just attached it to my power line network, and I'm going crazy looking at all these battery voltage, all this information you'd ever want to know out of a UPS, which would be great for a home system.
Yeah. I mean, that's your power wall right there.
But when it comes to charging it, oh, Lord, I guess if you got a small pack, it would be fine.
Wait, but that is, it doesn't balance charge, right? So why would you want to even use that? Just use a separate charger.
Yeah, I use a separate charger anyway, because I can't. The idea is if it's a UPS and you've run 4 hours or something because you had a power out, at least around here,
it'll charge it eventually.
Yeah.
It'll trickle charge your batteries.
Yeah, you want to get your stuff back fast, in case you lose power again, like in a storm situation.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But
that's the other thing that I've been thinking about, like what a power wall battery in your garage would be. Like, depends what you're doing. If you just want to store energy during the day and have it there, if you want to use it during the day, or if you're going to be cycling it once a day, it's like, depends.
Yeah, the grid tie inverter people, the one that they're trying to knock down their electric bill.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing that I hadn't really gotten into too much, and now I'm kind of starting to think about it and kind of read stuff. And
well, I tell you, there are these $10 and $15 solar chargers, okay, that you can get from China, and some of them are pretty good. They don't have any PC connectivity or anything like that. But several of them have a mode they call user. So, lead acid, NiCad, all this stuff. And one of them is user. And then you just put in your own parameters. And that's really nice. So they charge about 10 amps. But if you've got a small solar panel, 10 amps for free, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Why not? The rest of it, all it's doing is heating up my roof. I might as well use it. And, but you have to be very, very careful with those things, that you change the default settings, because their cutoff voltages and all the rest of that stuff is all wrong.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but if it's got a user setting, or you can change those values, you just go in and change it. It's like you said, your target audience is going to pretty much know what they're trying to achieve, and have enough knowledge that that you don't run 36 volts in a 12-volt system.
Yeah.
And so, and part of the fun of being do-it-yourself is learning,
Yeah.
I mean, you just don't do it to look at it. I mean, you do it to get something useful and to learn something. So,
yeah.
But
the only way you learn. That's the best way you learn. Yeah.
It's also the most expensive too.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You had all those student loans and.
Oh no!
I don't know.
Yeah, you got me there.
I think I'll play around with scrap stuff and learn stuff. You could at the end sell it, and then you at least make some of your money back.
Yeah.
But when you go to a university to learn some theory about any of this stuff.
When I went to U of H, they wouldn't. I went on a scholarship, and that basically means you're broke all the time. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, you got books, you got your tuition, but you don't need any place to live. You don't need any, anything to eat, But hey, it's a great portion of your college education paid for, so you take it.
Yeah.
But the holy grail always used to be to get a job on campus working engineering or science or something, like a grad student where they would pay you minimum wage and you'd be able to touch all the good stuff, and, make a little money and do all this stuff. I tried for 3 years to get a job like that, and they would never give it to me. But the computers were taking off. So the very same people who wouldn't give me that kind of a job were paying me $75 an hour to tell them how to hook up a microcomputer to their equipment. Yeah. So I just laughed, because it's all about how somebody sets it up as to what has value.
Yeah.
And if you you have value, you don't need any other outside, validation,
Yeah.
But you also know when you're out of your league, when you've taken on a job you can't pull off, or
yeah,
or
when I buy a charger that I'm trying to put together and I can't figure it out.
Yeah, but the thing is,
my league there.
Yeah, but no, the thing on that one is that you have enough sense to put it down for a while.
Yeah, that's true. It's there. One day I'm going to get to it.
Yeah, because I've known people who they're a half a second, and then the next thing you see is there's a charger-sized hole in drywall.
Yes.
Because you can get to that point where you don't want to see any of this ever again, because it just drives you nuts.
Have it blow it up in your face. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But you'll get that charger going. Or if you ever want, you can send it to me. I'll make it work for you.
There you go.
Yes.
You never know. One of these days.
Yeah.
What happens?
Yeah, it might take you a year to get it back. That's a big charger. I could see some uses for that.
10 kilowatts.
Yeah.
DC to DC, it could take anything from 100 to 300 volts, AC or DC.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Convert it to anything up to 400 volts or something. So
if I attach that to a single 18650 and turn it all the way up, I think we got a pretty good vent tester there.
Firecracker, yeah.
Yeah. I just have to warn my neighbors.
All right. Yeah, it's just
they don't talk to me anyway, so.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm gonna sign off and just let somebody else come in here.
Thank you for stopping by.
Hey.
All right.
Okay. Later.
On Rick.
Later.
All right. There's a question for you there. Answer it.
When did you start to see numbers grow on your YouTube subscriber and viewers? I have been on YouTube for about 3 months. Now posting pretty consistently. I have 160 subscribers at the moment. Where does someone like me go from here to keep growing? Ooh, that's interesting. And that's very complex to answer. I feel like my channel is now just barely starting to grow. I know that's kind of funny when, I have 12,000 or now 13,000 subscribers, but I put tons of work into this. This is 2 years, right? I think 2 years of serious work. Like I was doing a video weekly for a while, and then I was doing one every month, but really spending a lot of time and effort doing it. And then 3 months ago, I'm kicking into gear doing one every day. And it's paying off, but nothing quickly. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's different ways you can do it. Like, I kind of been studying how people do it. I know someone, for example, that went viral. So they had a video, they put it up, it got picked up by someone, it got 4 million views, and now they have a serious presence, where people are joining and the channel is growing. They're getting contracts, all this other stuff, right? It kind of happened in one day because of that. The way they're doing it, I'm looking at it and go, man, I would be doing it so much better if that happened to me, because I put a bunch of work into it. And so I think if something were to happen like that on my channel right now, I would take more advantage of that. I have a bunch of content. I have from the daily vlogs, where it's just kind of stuff that is put together the best I can within a few hours, to videos that just take a long time, and I wrote scripts and do the thing and all these experiments that I'm doing with the batteries. That's a lot of work, you 2 weeks to do an experiment to just, all of a sudden just make a video. And so, yeah, it's depends how you want to go about it. I think like going viral, it's one of those magical things that I don't think anyone can really figure it out. I know there are people that consistently put viral videos up and stuff, but I don't know, and then the other way is like me. I'm putting a bunch of work. I'm doing it every day, 2 years of videos, over 200 videos now on my channel. And then one day when one of these videos goes viral, I'm going to be ready for it. I'm going to take the most advantage that I can off of that. It's going to turn into great things and stuff. And so, yeah, you just, if you have it in you to just put the work and just do it every day, and put videos and do it better. Yeah, I can hear you.
So right now, like I'm going more the way of not so much like the daily kind of vlogs. I want like more quality kind of vlogs. Anything like I like discovered you and some other people, and I think that's like the way of the YouTube. And like especially those vlogs take over like 4 hours to edit, and they are so time consumptuous. Like, so like every time like I'm starting to use my gear, like except this thing is like broken now, the Gorilla Pod now. I don't know, but do you think that it's the better way to putting in the work and letting it speak for itself, or do you think it's just about getting a vlog up every day, no matter if the quality suffers on some of them, if you know what I mean?
It just depends. Like the only way you're gonna get good at doing this thing is the more you do of it. So it's mostly like the daily vlogs, I feel, is not so much for an audience, it's more for you.
Yeah.
It's like
exactly.
You have to learn how to work under like pressure and how to push yourself, how to get really good at editing, how to get different things and shortcuts. And, I suck at all of this stuff. You know what I mean? Like I've been making videos for I don't know how long, and I suck at editing. I don't know any of the shortcuts. Mitsa gets there and is like, and stuff is just happening, and there's layers and there's sound and there's effects. I'm like, wait, what the hell? Like, where's the thing? And you know what I mean? Like, and so the only way I can feel like I was going to get any better at it is just to force myself to do it every day. Like, and so it's just a crash course, you know what I mean? Like, then after done with all the technicalities, like if you notice, like all my videos are shaky. I don't care about lighting. I don't care about composition. It's not because I'm not good at that. Like I've mastered a certain amount of that. The reason is because I absolutely do not want to think about that right now. I want to focus in more the storytelling part. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, what are the aspects that will connect people with me? Like, can I tell a story about my dogs? Can I tell a story about the dogs that I saw last week that were killed in front of me? Do I tell a story of when I was a kid and how I felt a thing when I watched a movie for the first time, and now 30 years later, I'm like, I want to be a filmmaker, like making the parallels, all this stuff. So those are the things that I'm interested in right now. Right now, I don't care about lighting. I don't care about the tripod. I don't care about the camera. I don't care about the lens. You know what I mean? Like that stuff that is going to detract you from the thing that you're trying to learn. I understand if you haven't mastered those sort of things at any level or whatever, then you're going to be interested in that. But I think content really trumps everything. Anyone will forgive a dark lit, scenery with a shaky and grainy, scene. If the story is compelling and you're interested in what the guy is saying, I think that's people will forgive all that stuff. But even the most amazing shot and formatted, scenery, if it lacks any story that has substance, you're gonna look for it, in a couple seconds, and you'll be like, okay, what's next? You know what I mean? Like, and so I for the longest time I was stuck in the gear. I make gear for a living, and I'm like, it's not about the lens, it's not about the card, it's not about the camera, it's not about the resolution. It has nothing to do with that. Like, that's not what ends up in front of the thing, And I compare myself to like this guy, to people that I look up to, like this Casey guy, right? It's like I look at the stuff and I'm like, oh, I could do that better. I can do everything that he does better. I can't touch his storytelling. You know what I mean? Like
But can you do it daily better? And can you?
Yeah, no, I mean that guy, he's a machine. You know what I mean? And
I honestly don't know how he does it. He wakes up. I honestly he wakes up and goes to bed, and he just works every single day, and it's insane. I mean, I give the guy props. I mean, he built something crazy in less than 5 months, but he put in the hard work, and
and you got to also remember that
he's been doing it for a really long time too. He started this when he was how old, right? When he moved to New York, he was 20 or something. He's been doing it for a really long time.
That is his job, though. I mean, that's all he has to do. Yeah, he's got to have meetings and all this other stuff. But his, better part of the day is answering questions, comments. He like I was telling Misa today that I noticed that he does he does like ads for his vlogs on Twitter, right? Like he puts screen captions like, "Oh, today I'm talking about this and that." Like he's doing promotional spots for his vlogs, which usually vlogs are like a promotional spot for something else, for his app or whatever it is. He's just a walking advertisement for his stuff. And so that is his job. That's what he's getting paid to do. Like,
just for anyone not really following this conversation, they're talking about Casey Neistat, who is a YouTube vlogger, and I put the link so that you guys can kind of look at it. And if you haven't seen his stuff, you can go and take a look. Also, John, there's a question here. What's the focus on the blog that you're doing?
So my vlog is basically, I'm trying to show you what my life is, just like anyone else. I'm trying to tell my story, and I'm trying to do that in the best way possible through the best quality. First of all, because I think quality does trump all, like we were talking about, but also like I want to be able to develop a story. I want to be able to tell that story. And one of the harder things for me right now is that living in Minneapolis, Minnesota, there's not much to do always. It's not like you're living in New York City, Los Angeles. Like, that's obviously not an excuse, but it's something that does get in the way of things, So I think that's the biggest deal for me right now, trying to figure out how to tell this story but make everything interesting throughout the day, because if you live somewhere like this, like most of you guys probably do, somewhere in the Midwest or something like that, you tend to know that your day kind of gets repetitive a lot. So trying to break the repetitiveness. But yeah, if you guys want to check out the channel, it's kind of like Jared's or Casey's or just anyone else who has high production vlogs. It's John DeBray. You guys see it. But yeah, I mean, this is like, be able to talk to you guys direct is like a huge thing, because like I've been following you for a long time, like it's really cool to be able to interact with you, because I respect your work, of course.
Oh, thank you.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
What's his name? I don't know what his name is, but his Twitter is HC Advertising. He's asking like, what's unique about it? Like, why are you guys talking about this guy so much?
Casey?
Casey.
Oh, man, that guy.
Just like a quick, obviously, we can't get into the whole thing.
He's an amazing storyteller. Today didn't he show something about flying some drone
about the drone on the top of the roof.
It's funny to try to explain it. Like when someone first told me about him, they go, "Yeah, this guy gets a bunch of boxes that people send him like this expensive stuff, and he just like throws them, and he doesn't care." And I thought, well, that sounds like a jerk. Like why would anybody do that? And then I came across videos, and I'm like, this guy is a genius. Yeah. Like here's the thing about Casey. He has opinions about everything that he does. Like, he believes and subscribes to a way of seeing the world, and he has such conviction that you're like, yes, this guy knows what he's talking about. You know what I mean? Like, he'll tell you why he wears shoes that are black. I mean, and he doesn't. I mean, I'm just an example. He'll be like, these shoes are the only shoes that I wear, and these are the reasons why. And I'm going to tell you. And the story is interesting, and the story has like some kind of logic that you're like, oh, well, okay, that totally makes sense. Yeah, if I was you, you know what? Maybe I am going to wear black shoes from now on. And so everything in his life is that way. And so when you believe in yourself and you believe in the things that you believe, and you can articulate the reasons why that is, then people are going to find you super interesting, or they're going to hate you, or they're going to love you. Yeah. And most people really love this guy. I mean, I found that people hate him too. But he puts these little stories every day, 6 minutes, and it's just about his daily life. And a lot of them has to do about his philosophy on life and why he does the things that he does. But also the other thing is that he lives a very interesting life, because he's in a place that he's hanging with some high profile people and he's doing some outrageous things. Like, he can't find a cab, and he'll just charter a helicopter to be able to make it to some stupid. I like the one where he was gonna make it. He's trying to make it from South Africa to somewhere in the U.S. for some wedding for some of his friends or whatever. And he's like late. He's got like 30 hours, and the flight is like 31 hours. And he documents the whole thing. And he documents all the way from like he's changing in the trash can in the dumpster behind the plays that, and it's super interesting. He has a very good way of telling the story.
Yeah.
It's engaging. So
yeah, he definitely inspires. Like, I think he inspires so many people. Like, he inspired not only like me to vlog, I guess, or make videos, but also like this summer I got the opportunity to get an internship out there for film industry, and I'm literally 17 years old. I'm going for the dream. Like, I saved up $2,500. Like, this is it. Like, I'm ready to go. And like, I think that no matter what that you do, that if you put in the hard work and really are passionate about it, I think that you can make a career out of it. Or if you like it, then just keep going with it. And I love being able to like share my experience with everyone. So I think it's a very cool experience to be able to show people, even though like, say like 200 people are viewing my vlogs every day, like that still is like 200 people who are viewing my vlogs and care about it, like it's pretty cool. Like
it's something, you know what I mean? Like put the work in, and eventually someone's going to see you, and then someone's going to, eventually you'll be like, okay, now I know how to make good quality stuff, right?
Yeah.
Then the next step is how to leverage that. And, you know, if you look at Casey, he's doing all the leveraging things. He's showing you how to do it. Whether he's like giving it to you there or he's just actually doing it, you get to see it, He's hanging with all those people. He's collaborating with, the other day he went and did that thing with that girl that did the stupid skits or whatever. You can tell that he's just like, this is so stupid. But she's got like 8 million subscribers or whatever, You know that he's totally just doing that so that he can get some new eyes on his stuff. And sometimes you have to do that stuff. And then your strategy is going to change a little bit. It's like now it's how to go viral, how to get eyes from that normally wouldn't be here, and and so I think that's where I'm at right now, and I feel like the channel's just kind of doing it automatically. And so whenever something goes viral, that's the whole thing. I don't know if you saw a video that we did.
Yeah, I did. The
Tesla thing. It's like so we're trying to capitalize on like something bigger, something that is already has a lot of fans, and a lot of people do it with culture pop, pop culture stuff, like stories like Batman, like The Walking Dead. They'll do parodies. That's the whole thing about the parodies. You try to tap into some huge audience that some franchise already has. In my case, I'm kind of technical, so Tesla is that thing for me, and so. Like I don't just want it to be entertaining. I want to, sprinkle a little bit of, some educational stuff. You learn a little bit and then you get entertained. It's like at the end, you got to be entertained.
Yeah.
And, if you can sneak some stuff and learn some stuff, and I can tell you, like, I can figure something, then that is a good thing. That's my aim in my channel. Somehow how to marry my technical side to my creative side, and make something that a lot of people can enjoy, whether you want to learn something or you want to just see something cool or something.
How do you think Beam is going? Do you think it's gonna be successful, or?
I don't know. It's kind of weird. I do realize that I'm old, and so I do not think like you guys. I do not understand a lot of the thinking that happens when on the newer generations. It's like, and a perfect example of that is that app that I never got. Which one? The one that with the 4 seconds also, and
Snapchat.
So Snapchat, I never once was like, oh, that's a thing that I gotta try. Like Twitter.
But it's a huge thing amongst young people, and it's a different generation. And maybe Jay, who's too old.
I'm too old, and so I recognize that, and so I don't get Beam. You know what I mean? Like, Beam, it's not for creatives. I feel like I'm a little bit ahead of like the curve when it comes to. I'm a little bit more creative than the average Joe, and so
Jay, who wants to be able to censor more than like Beam is totally uncensored, or like you can't edit on Beam. You just put it out, and I think for people that are super creative, that doesn't quite work. Like something like YouTube works a little bit better, but there's a big part of the population that they're not super creative the way that you guys are, that I think are going to benefit from being able to, like, I don't have to edit anything there. I just put it out there and I'm sharing, and they'll feel good about it, and I think it'll be successful in that realm.
Yeah.
Maybe not for creatives, you know.
I think it's lacking. Like, if you ever go on to, like, say there's like 5 main things or main social media platforms, and like Beam's just missing something that they have, you know, like it's just missing something very key. Like, it's just missing something very big to me. I think that like 4 seconds just isn't enough. Like, it cuts me off so quick. Like, you know.
No, and here's the thing that I take as a measure. Okay, Casey, we find him right. It's like everything that he does is amazing. You know, amazingly interesting, right? And I see his beams, and I'm like, you know, the guy at the top, the most interesting guy in this platform, because it's his baby, it's his thing. Yeah. His beams are like,
because you can't craft the story with it. So
there's nothing you can do with 4 seconds at a time that literally cuts you off. It doesn't. The beep isn't even correct. Like, it cuts you off. Like you. I don't know. It's just like really frustrating, especially like you can't even see before you post. So like, say you don't want to show like yourself like totally like, and like it shows like, I don't know, just stupid stuff like that, and it's like you don't want to. Then it makes you delete the whole thing.
Oh, I know. I've never done that. I'm just like, I'm picking my nose, and I'm like, that went out. Oh well, who cares? You know. Here's the thing, though. You got to keep in mind also that it's a work in progress. You know what I mean? Like, this second version from the first version. Huge improvement. It's a huge thing. I still don't get the thing where I can't sit there and just watch other people.
No, I only create. I really don't watch anyone else except for the people like on the Discover page or whatever, like how you can go all around the world. That's pretty cool, I think. But I don't really watch any of the people I really follow. I think I just put it on there to create. And like I think the main goal for me was trying to be able to like get on their Beam like main app page or whatever, and I did that in the first like 3 days or something, and they like counted me out, and like I don't know
what happened. One day I was like beaming about stuff. We went to pick up some cars, electric cars, and then like just magically there was like, I don't know, 800 views or whatever, you know, and I was like, whoa, something. And so that's another thing that's kind of weird. Not knowing how it works, what I did, why that happened, you know, like that's also another thing that kind of bugs me, and I can't try to reach for that thing. You know, it's like, I guess I shouldn't try to be looking for some hack, but it's just human nature. You try to find the hack to get the advantage. You know what I mean? And so they remove that, and so that's another issue that I have with it. So I don't know how to recreate that again. I guess I should just be like, well, create good content, and you know, people will find you.
Keep doing it.
It's like when you become an interesting stranger, like that one. I don't know how that even happens. Like, I don't know if it's like something in their database, like if you have like a certain amount, or like where you are in the world that they need more people like that, or I just really don't know. It's like,
hey, John, what did getting on their popular page or whatever that's called do for you? Did that actually generate a bunch of followers or likes or like?
No, I think that the first thing that happened, I had 2 different times that it happened. For the first time, Jack tweeted mine. It was about me. It was about my first day of Vlogmas, and like I wanted to do an intro, so I went outside, really crappy sled out in my woods in my backyard, and I filmed me like going crazy on it. And I filmed like me falling a bunch of times, and that first time I think I gained like 100 new people on it. But then the second time when they put it on the main page, I think it got like 7.5 thousand views on it, and that gave me like over 200 reactions, which is kind of cool. But the main thing, which like I never get responses or reactions anymore, which is really annoying. But I think it gave me, I think like 300 new followers and like maybe 1,000 new views or whatever. So it really just depends on and then I see some people getting like a whole or like 5 days on it, and like I just don't know how you get discovered like that. You know what I mean? Like usually like Instagram, you can do like Twitter or different hashtags and like stuff like that to get found, but like they really don't leave. Like you can't really do anything with it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a whole lot of mystery.
Yeah, I really don't know.
Cool. Well, it was nice meeting you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll check your channel out.
Sweet. Thank you, man. Bye.
All right.
There's a question from Trevor. Do you think that being consistent helps grow your channel, or do you think that it's all about the quality and the content you're producing?
I mean, I think consistency helps some people, right? If you like someone and you want to see little chunks of their life, and you know that every day at 8 o'clock in the morning is going to be there, I think that is a thing. But I think also creating content that is good and engaging will do that. You know what I mean? Like, will make your channel keep growing. You know what I mean? Like, you put a video that is 2 years old and it's still getting views and still finding new people and getting new subscribers. So it just depends. One really caters for people to find you, where the other one caters more for your established fan base or whatever, for people that are just like you. But yeah, it all helps. I think there's different people online, and so different strategies work for different things.
Cool.
I noticed too that what works for me won't necessarily have to work for you. Like I talk to other YouTubers and stuff, and I'm like, hey, how many clicks did it take you to do this thing or achieve this thing? And it's completely different than mine. The amount of money they make, the amount of clicks they get, and the amount of followers that they get to other platforms from any given amount of views. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You sounded like a robot for a second.
Oh, robot.
Yeah, you're fine now. It was probably a connection thing.
No, maybe, yeah. So yeah.
Okay. There's one question that someone asked a long time ago that we never got to. What's your ultimate goal with your blog?
What's my ultimate goal? Build an audience. That's what we want to do. Hey, Mike, what's up, man? We want to, I just want to build an audience. Like the thing is, audience is really what is going to allow me to do this thing. You know what I mean? It's the thing. If you want to do this for a living, you got to have established, audience that you can deliver content, whatever it might be. Whatever is the thing that you're doing. In this case, I'm still trying to figure that out. I do know I like learning stuff. And so I like, I just read something because came in. I like learning stuff, and I noticed that others people like learning, and so I usually like telling people how I learn the things. And so it's like some of my videos are going under educational. I don't even know if I picked that knowingly or it just kind of happened or whatever. But yeah, and I'm kind of technical on the one side, but I'm also interested in the creative side and storytelling. So I'm trying to merge all this stuff into one, and before anybody does it, it might look like something that it cannot happen, something that is weird and it might not work. Right up until the point where someone does it, they do it successfully, and you're like, well, it's the thing. Yeah, I mean, becomes a thing, and you can clearly see it. And so I don't know if I'm going to be successful at doing it, but I am going to try it. I'm going to give it my best. And so that's what the blog is going to be.
So ultimately, you're saying the blog is to build an audience, but then the end result of that really is to make a living doing creative projects.
Yeah, I want to do this. I definitely have. I enjoy making videos. It's like I'm starting to think that's what's kept me sane this last couple of years. It's been really stressful this last few years. With run a company that's not really my passion, and it's not really making, it's not growing, it's actually shrinking. The challenges keep getting bigger and bigger every year. And so there's less satisfaction from, overcoming those, because I haven't been able to overcome a lot of those challenges. And so in an ever growing conditions where my stress is getting higher and higher, I found out that the thing that I've enjoyed the most is making these videos. It's kind of like my escape from the stress of running a company that is shrinking and with less sales every year and with less employees and that whole thing. And so yeah, I kind of want to embrace that. I want to make videos, and the only way to do that is by doing this vlog and creating a an audience.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking to make like movies or short films or any of that?
Ooh, you're very low.
Yeah, your mic's
low.
really low.
Let me work on that.
I think his question was, are you looking to... I'm just going to let him figure out his mic and then ask again. Because I don't... So I heard movies.
Movies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Sounds good now.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Are you looking to do like short films or like feature films? What are you... Or like commercial spots?
So here's the thing, like I never envisioned myself doing production for a living, right? Like
or crashing electric cars, or all of the other.
Yeah. So I grew up thinking that I wanted to do movies, right? That's I told the story earlier before when I went when 10 years old and saw the IMAX theater and it was the Superdome thing and so blown away before to take a kid and see that. And so I'm like, I want to make a movie, and so I grew up and I've always been carrying my camera forever. I didn't think I understood enough about a movie. Yeah, we all want to make a movie, but now that I'm older and I can kind of see how the world works and stuff, I'm like, yeah, that it's a little bit out there, like that goal. You know what I mean? Like, why don't we start working with the smaller chunks, with the goals, that are more achievable and stuff. And so that's why this YouTube became a thing. It's like, I can make tiny little videos. You know what I mean? I love documentaries. I consume a lot of documentaries because there's something about real, the reality of it. I enjoy fiction, don't get me wrong, but there's a thing about reality. And so I know that art form has become so cinematic in the last few years. I mean, some of these movies that I've seen, they're just amazing. And yeah, one day I would love to get to the point where I feel confident and be like, I have it in me. So right now it's basically I'm just exploring how to tell stories and how to tell tiny little 5-minute stories. It's a thing that I don't necessarily think I'm good at, but I do necessarily find myself very, very interested in it. And so I'm like, well, if I can find a way to do that and explore that, I don't know how long I'm going to be here. Maybe one year or maybe next year. I'm like, I'm done telling these 5-minute stories. Now I want to tell a 20-minute story. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, I think it leads to that. Maybe one day, I'm gonna be shooting. Misa's shooting a feature film, but he's on the he's in the cinematography side, right? Is that you're doing the director of photography, right? Yeah. And so I guess it's not that crazy to think that maybe one day we'll get to direct our own movie.
Yeah. But I think we're taking it, one step at a time. At first, I think you think about filmmaking and it's like, let's make a movie. You don't realize what it takes to actually make a movie.
Yeah.
And once, we started with the gear. We're like, okay, we need gear. So let's start making with the gear that we need because we can't even afford to buy it. And then that led to like a whole 6 years of us setting up a company selling gear. And we didn't even realize that we're stuck selling gear, not getting anywhere near close to the thing that
the original
envisioned at the beginning, which was making a movie. And then that took us to that whole sidetrack. And then we're like, okay, well, let's start to actually shoot stuff. And then we're shooting stuff. And that's going to be a whole other, 10-year process of learning to actually do a production. I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take, but either way, we're finding that along the way on our path to telling stories or shooting a film, we're learning all of these things and we're finding out all these things about ourselves, even that we like about this, that we don't know where that's going to go or how or where that's going to take us. And I think one of the things that we're discovering right now that we're realizing about all of this is that throughout this whole process, we really are DIY guys. That's kind of what we have become. And it's like, the first thing we needed was gear, and then we figure out how to do it ourselves. And then the next thing that Jehu needed was a car. So we're like, let's figure out how to do that ourselves. And then when it comes to this, things that we're excited about, the power wall. Let's figure out how to do that ourselves. So we're finding out that we're DIY guys.
We're Robert Rodriguez.
We're like the people that inspired us from the beginning. They were DIY guys. And I think we're more and more finding that that's kind of the attitude that we have taken. And the more that we realize that, we're also realizing that we have gathered a community of supporters that are also people that are kind of DIYers. You know, they're into that. They're into doing stuff themselves.
People out there, like on YouTube and all that. People want that content.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's because that's who they ultimately want to become themselves. Except that somehow we've been told that we can't do this ourselves. We always get discouraged from trying to do it ourselves. It's like, no, just buy it, or like find a quick fix or an easy thing, easy way to do it. But more and more, we're finding that there's a lot of people that connect to that DIY attitude, spirit, however you want to call it. And I think, through this whole experience, we're finding that like Jehu is right in the middle of it all. He's like the guy, I mean, he's inspiring me, and he's inspiring a whole bunch of people around him to kind of take this new attitude or this other attitude of like, yeah, you can just do it yourself. And I mean, maybe we can't all do the exact same things that he's doing, but we can do a lot of the similar things or in a different way, do it ourselves. Like for me, it's been a different journey, but it's like, I became a web developer because I needed to put up a website. So I went and I figured out how to make websites. And then I got stuck for like 7 years working for a company developing websites for people. That's been when we were kids, we listened to music and we were like, we need to figure out how to do that. So we started to learn to play instruments, and then we had our own band. And then we went to a concert, and that was like, we got to do that. So then we started figuring out how to make our own concerts with our band and like trying to sell tickets and get people to show up to our events and stuff. So we've been doing this all across the board throughout our whole life. And now I think at this point, looking back, it's easy to see, look, we're DIY people. We like to do stuff ourselves. And I think now that we're, Jehu's in this place, well, we both are in this place where we're like, yeah, JAG is not really how we're making a living anymore. So, and it's kind of going downhill, and it's becoming this new thing that it's become a burden now. It's like, oh, we're not paying our bills, and somehow Jehu's paying to keep this thing open, and it's really not, viable to keep this company afloat anymore. Yeah. But we need to figure something else out. And then the other thing is like, we don't need to figure anything else out. You're already doing it. Like he's already built a little bit of a community of an audience that likes the content. Now we just have to figure out how to monetize that. And even that, I feel like we've already started figuring out. There's AdSense that pays you a little bit of money for your content. And it's a little bit, it's like not enough to pay bills. But then we're finding out that there's like, we have this Amazon affiliate that also pays you a little bit. And if we start putting all of these things together, it's like, I think that can actually become, a legitimate way to kind of pay your bills and get you out of this hole that you put yourself because of JAG. And I think that's kind of where that's where we're headed, and figuring how to do that. It's going to be difficult, but it's not any different than any other project that we've done. It's always been difficult. It's another DIY approach at how we're going to make a living.
It really helps that you guys have like a starter following. That's, I think, the hardest thing to gather.
Yeah.
So you've got that going for you.
We've been building that for a really long time. Like when we had a band, we were literally putting up concerts and gathering our friends and their friends and people to come and check out our stuff. And then that led to when we started a JAG company, it started with Twitter and like putting it out there, and like a bunch of people starting to follow, and people started to buy from us. And it's like, so we've been building an audience for a really long time that now it's like, well, let's put that audience to a good use. Let's make it into a community of people that are into this DIY stuff. Let's show them how we can do stuff ourselves. Especially like this is going to be the biggest thing, I think. Like, how can we make a living without having to go get a job? That's like the ultimate DIY project, I think, and it's like, it's not because we don't like working, because we work a whole lot. Like we spend a lot of time in every project that we do. But it's going to be figuring out how to generate money through like bits and pieces from all these different sources, and So we're finding that Amazon affiliates is one of those things. The YouTube AdSense is another one of those things. The eBay affiliate thing. And then Patreon, we're like, oh, wait a minute. That's almost like a thing in itself that we can put out there, and the people that support the content that actually see some value in this thing, like in what we're doing.
There are a lot of people who've proven that model. You got, the guys like the woodworking for mere mortals guy, guys. Like, I mean, there are a lot of those people who are like fully funding and upgrading gear because they have, even if it's just 2,000 people who care enough to pitch in a few bucks, like totally worth it.
We're seeing it all around. Some of my clients are YouTubers that they're just making a living off of not just YouTube, but like that is just the main platform where they deliver the content. But then they're also doing, all of the sponsors and all of these different sources. And I think we've been around it enough to see that it's happening. People are doing it. People are taking advantage of all of these new platforms. And we're right in the middle of it. And somehow, for whatever reason, we didn't, step into it right away. I think because we were busy making gear. Now we're like, okay, now it's time to step into this new platform and start, kind of cashing in on some of that stuff. It's not like easy or anything. It's not going to be like all, it's going to be, I think it's going to be even harder than just selling products, but ultimately it's going to be doing the thing that we want to be doing, which is DIY projects, filmmaking, telling stories, connecting to a community, all of the things that we're already doing. It's just going to be, we're not going to be doing that on the side on our extra little time that we have. It's going to be, we want it to be the time that we have to do stuff, like.
I envision a day where I show up here and like, okay, we're going to make a video. Today is about this thing. All right, let's go out there and do it, where right now.
Is it like mostly, are you thinking like EV kind of stuff, or is it like full range, random, whatever?
No, see, the thing is that I don't want to, this is the struggle, right? The struggle is that I have so many interests, and the EV interest thing, it's a major one. I'm really passionate about, like, any way you look at it, like it's a better car, it's good for the environment, it's good for, it's good for everyone, it's good for the planet, it's good for us, it's fun, and so I think it's a good thing. Like whatever I do and I can affect those near me, it's gonna have a bigger impact. I probably know 2-3 guys in my close like family or group of friends that shoot with cameras, with DSLRs, right? So no matter how good I innovated in the camera world and stuff, I could maybe have affected 1 or 2 of my friends. Like, I give them a thing, and now they get to shoot and use it. But if I do something like that on the car side, on the electric car side, I could potentially have an effect on like everyone around me. I don't know anyone that doesn't use a car and that doesn't ride a car every day to go somewhere, right? So it has a lot more potential. It is a thing that we use all the time, and it is a thing that could be better. You know what I mean? Like you don't even have to crack your head looking at new ways and how to better that. And like someone else is doing. Elon is already doing it. Now you just have to kind of figure your own way that you can do that within your own circle. You know what I mean? And so that's the reason why I feel passionate about the electric cars. But it's by no means the only interest that I have in life. You know what I mean? Like, I like computers, and I like this thing, and I like, movies, and, it's like shooting and production and advertising. You know what I mean? Like all this other stuff. I think the magic sauce is going to be in merging all those together and making it into something that looks like a product.
And one thing that works for me for your channel, you're really, really transparent about how things are going, and not even in your life, but just in your channel. Even just like, here's this giant dip, and here's why, and here's some new stuff that we're gonna put out. And like you're very. Most people are just like, hey guys, if you like what I do, check out my affiliate links down below, blah blah blah, and they go on. But like you're like, I'm trying to make some money, and here's some links. I just love that it's that transparent. That's like really awesome.
Hey, Mike, can you put your mic up a little bit more? Some people are asking.
I'll lean in a little bit more too.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you know what? I noticed, like, I feel the same way about this Casey guy, which is the guy that what is the word here? He inspired me to like get busier, right? It's like, what the hell? Like this guy's doing all this work and he's making a video every day. What am I doing? You know what crazy. I mean? So I look at his stuff and he's genuine. You know what I mean? Like that's a thing that makes me attract him. Like, I mean, that attracts me to him, you know, like, and I think the fact that like millions of people are joining his channel and they're following him is the fact that he sounds genuine. I mean, I don't know, maybe he's not genuine, but he's fooling all us into thinking that he's genuine. So I thought, well, what's the easiest thing to do is just be genuine. It's a hard thing to do, like to share stuff and fears and, you know, to be able to put a face like, well, I'm scared. I'm like, you know, I'm worried about this thing. Not everyone can do it. And so my wife will be the first one to tell you that I'm not a very open person. Except now you put this camera in here and I'm like sharing stuff that I wouldn't share with my closest friends. It's kind of liberating, you know what I mean? It's a thing. And I think that's one way to get people to like you. If they can somehow connect with you and you can show them that you're just a guy, you know, I'm not special in any way. I'm just, you know, like I'm just one of another 7 billion people in the world. And so I mean, if there's
something to that though, that's a good thing. That's, you know, people like other people.
Yeah. We
real people.
We tend to real people, right? And that's the thing about it. Like that's what this whole thing is, reality TV. And it's a huge thing that happened in the 90s. But you know what? Then eventually it was like, oh, it's all a lie. Reality TV wasn't real. It was all scripted. Right. And so now this is reality TV. This is the new form of reality TV, the vlogs. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so that's the new genre. And Casey is really changing the game. You know what I mean? Like he's redefining the genre. Like vlogging used to mean something else, used to mean a thing. And I think after him, it's going to mean something else. And so that's the reason why we're excited. Hey, Trevor.
Hey, what is up?
What's up, man?
How's it going?
Here's one of our hardcore subscribers and commenters on our channel.
Wow, you're hardcore, man.
Hardcore, man.
Jay, who just labeled you as hardcore.
Hardcore.
How does that feel?
Props that guy.
So I got a question.
Yeah.
So I got a question. Why do you guys think Casey's videos, like everybody's copying his style?
Oh, why? Because he's so unique. You know what I mean? Because he's got a winning formula. And so everyone's going to copy. You know, it's like there are the trendsetters, and then there are the rest of us that follow. And so we look at something that we like, and we're like, well, we're going to do that. And you know, everybody's copying everything. There's nothing under the sun that is new, right? But eventually, you know, you form convictions and you believe in them that you inspire others to do. And that's what Casey does. He believes in himself, and he believes in the things that he believes. And he has got such conviction that all of us are just like blown away. And so everyone's going to copy him. And that's the only thing I really don't agree with him, how he says that you got to try and be unique. I don't think you have to be unique. I think you can try to give your own flavor to things, you know what I mean? Because that's what inspiration is. You take something that someone else did, and you make it your own, and you shape it and you mold it slightly different to give it your own flavor. And I think he's bothered by the fact that a lot of people, you know, want to copy his thing. And I think that's a good thing. Like that kind of validates him as a person, and as a creative person. And so I think that's the reason why we follow him, because we want to be a little bit of what he's got, you know, our own flavor of that. So
I think more technically, from my standpoint, I think he has really good editing. And I think comparatively, compared to most vlogs that are just cut, like he really goes to a lot of trouble. And I think his audio, like his music in the background, always seems to just fit.
Although the latest songs, I'm not really digging them that much. Yeah. But not only that, he's creating like the Casey like signature sound. You know what I mean? Like he he's chosen all this music, curated all this music for the longest time, and they're kind of this stuff that is not popular. He's not using stuff that's
sort of like sample based, sort of R&B / ambient, like a weird mix.
It's like dubstep music too.
Yeah, it's like this new fusion and stuff. You know what I mean? It's become like a signature thing. Like I could go and grab something like that, but it's gonna be like, well, it sounds like a Casey. It sounds like a Casey thing. Which, by the way, I get that quite a bit. So I
was gonna say you kind of did.
Yeah. You know, so now, you know, it's like I'm trying to shape it to different things. You know, I like different kinds of music and stuff, and I'm trying to put them in there.
Look, it's like when you start learning an instrument, you can't start playing all original songs. You have to play all the cover songs first. So it's like, this is the same thing. Jehu's starting this new vlog format, and he was inspired by this one guy. It's going to look very similar to the thing until he figures out his own style and he builds his own way of doing it. And it takes some time, you know. So I think
that just kind of tells you how green I am and how green I feel in the art of telling a story.
That's why we're driving an electric car.
No, I mean, you know, I don't by any means think that I'm particularly talented in the storytelling department. You know what I mean? Like, I think I'm actually quite bad at it. I'm kind of horrible at it, but I have this drive to try to figure it out, you know, to look at it and be like, oh, you see what he did there? And you see how he tied us to this thing, and you see how he talks about this other thing. You know, I'm studying that because I want to really figure it out. You know what I mean? Eventually, one day, maybe I will become a storyteller good enough to be able to pick up the points and the arcs and the whole thing and be able to tell a compelling story that might not just be a vlog, might be in a longer format, like a documentary or something like that. But I don't feel that I am anywhere near mastering or, you know, trying or even figuring it out yet. And so, you know, I'm just stumbling around. I'm just this is just a big experiment.
One day.
Yeah.
Do you guys think it's the quality of Casey's video or his storytelling?
It's the storytelling. I mean, it's a combination of both, but
it's definitely a combination of both.
To tell you the truth,
but I think the story is the driving factor.
Do you think the quality really matters?
No, I mean it does.
Like if he was just shooting shooting all on an iPhone, would his videos still be blown up?
Yes. If he's
done that, and they've done well.
Yeah, it's marginal. Like the view, the composition, the lighting, all that stuff can be forgiven if the story is compelling. Yeah. If you have a good story with compelling character in front of you, which he is, we all agree there. You won't care if it's black and white or if it's grainy or if it's shaky or if doesn't matter. It's a story, and it's going to be good. And I'd say master the storytelling first. That's at least what I'm trying to do, and that's why my videos are shaky and they're not lit and they're crooked and because I absolutely do not want to spend 1 ounce of brain power. I believe I don't have the ability to spare some brain power to that. You know, right now I'm like, I need to try and figure the storytelling side. I need to be able to see like what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it, that it has the most impact in my audience. And then, you know, if it happens to be in focus, great. You know,
people can watch at a focus screen.
Icing in the cake, you know what I mean? And eventually I think I'm going to get to a point where I feel that I'm going to be to a point where, okay, now let's spend a little bit more time setting up the thing. You know, it's like right now I feel I got 2 hours and it takes me 3 hours to do. So yeah, I'm not going to spend any of that time setting up some light or some tripod or whatever. You know what I mean? Like eventually when I'm doing this every day for a living and, you know, I have all the stuff, then we'll spend the time to frame this stuff right and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's what's happening. So I understand you, Trevor, you've been doing this for quite a bit, for a long time, right?
I started in like 2009, started vlogging.
2009. Wow, that's when I started Jag. You've been doing it quite a bit.
For quite a few times.
Quite a few years now. Yeah.
Yep.
And of course,
go ahead.
So you do this kind of as a hobby, or like have you found a way to kind of monetize some stuff?
I mean, I make a little bit of money off it. It's nothing like Casey or anything, but yeah.
There's no craziness. Yeah.
No craziness. No.
Have you done like collaborations and stuff?
I try to do that, yeah. But it's nothing like bigger YouTubers or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
because I think you have to have like a huge subscriber base to collaborate with bigger YouTubers.
Yeah. Like no one's gonna take you in.
Yeah, because they want something out of you, and you want to get their subscribers. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be like an exchange of goods, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how Casey was doing that skit video with those girls.
Yeah.
He looked so bored. He looked so bored.
Yeah, right. It wasn't just me.
He was like, I want to get in there, get out, and go home. That's all he wanted to do.
But he's leveraging. See, that's what he's doing.
He even said, he's like, I'm not an actor.
I'm not an actor. That's what he's doing. See, he's very confident now in his storytelling that he's got a good product, that it's compelling, that it's going to keep growing. It's going to grow. You know what I mean? Like there's a thing that it's called organic growth. And
you think people are just using him to get views in their channel?
No, it's the other way around. That girl has like 8 million subscribers. He was using her to leverage, to expose it, like, you know what I mean?
You make it sound so ugly. I mean, it's absolutely true, except, it's like they were collaborating.
No, but here's the thing. He was using her. It wasn't the other way around.
He's getting
I mean, he still has like 2 million subscribers, right?
He not yet. He's got 1.5 or something. Close. Yeah, next week. Got the way he's going. Probably next week he'll have
1.77 million at this point.
1.7. Wow.
Almost 1.
You know what's so crazy? For a little while, I was like, okay, I can keep my views to go along with the subscribers, but it's like, what? He's leaving me behind.
Yeah.
I can't even get the same amount of views as he is. I'm 1.5 or I'm almost 1.6 probably or something. Yeah.
You need to boost the board and like a 1-year-old baby.
Yeah, or a dancing cat or
a
cat. I can put a cat with the thing, right? That's what people like to watch on YouTube.
You like cat videos, yeah. Everybody loves those cat videos.
People like,
some naked chick, bouncing around. Not naked, but slow motion. What's the other one? I saw the other one where it was like they were shooting some chick with gummy bears, and they were like using a phantom, like super slow motion. I mean, it's like 2,000 frames or something. It's like you could see the skin just like wow, like crazy. And it's like a minute long, the video, and it's got millions and millions of views because it's just like mesmerizing. You're like, wow.
It's like almost.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could do that, but then you get like I feel like that audience is so much harder. Like it comes, you know what I mean? Like there's haters everywhere, right? Haters are gonna hate. And so, certain audiences, I believe like his audience, there's a lot of positive there, but I think there's also a lot of hates. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he loses thousands of subscribers every day. He gains thousands, but thousands of subscribers every day is like, forget this guy. Because you love him or you hate him. Like, he says stuff, and he's so convinced about the stuff that he's talking that if it's different, I think a lot of people are like, what? Screw this guy. I don't like him. You know what I mean? And so, I feel...
I don't think that's incorrect. Yeah, you're right.
So, I don't know. It's one of the... And it's like something that I'm not really going to concern myself too much about. I've gotten my share of hate. You know what I mean? And it undoubtedly always leads to, like, just kill yourself, you fat Mexican. It always goes to that, it's like, and you're like, oh, okay, you're one of those. You should have started with that. I would have, banned you. Like, but it always starts like a little, like, it always starts like a criticism. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing this thing wrong. You're like doing this thing and you're not being honest or something. And then when I argue with them, and then eventually, 10 interactions later, just die, go back to Mexico. It's funny. It would be cool if you can get that like right out of the way, out of the bad. Like, oh, you're one of those. Okay.
Oh, hey.
Bang.
How's it going?
Oh, what's going on there? Oh, we got a visitor apparently.
There's Casey Neistat in the building.
Oh, apparently. apparently. Yeah.
So how was meeting Casey in person?
I don't know, man. It was like hi bye. I didn't want to bother him, and he didn't. He seemed like he didn't want to get bothered. He was in a mission to shoot that one video and stuff, and so.
That viral video.
Don't meet your heroes. Don't meet your heroes.
Yeah. I didn't want to be like the guy. You know what I mean?
It was a bummer when I watched your vlog on that. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I was hoping it wouldn't be like.
It was, whatever. I mean, we'll have another chance. Yeah. I'll have another chance later. You know what I mean? Like eventually we'll do a thing. I don't know. Something's gonna come out of it or whatever. But
do you think he would collaborate with you?
Yeah, he's a attention whore. He'll yeah, I think so. I think it depends. You know what I mean? Like he's getting to a place where he's got less time for nonsense and stuff, and so. Unless I have something to offer, right? It's like the same thing, like you're saying, the collaborations with the YouTubers. You gotta feel like you're getting the same amount you're giving, and it's kind of an even trade and stuff. Which is kind of sad, but that's just how humans are, that's how we are. And so yeah, with me having less weight behind me and stuff, and so if I don't have an equal amount to offer to him. Maybe he'd feel like, nah, he doesn't have the time to do it. But you never know. One of these days, you know what I mean? He is a nice guy, I think. I believe so. And, he's appreciative of his audience and stuff. And so, in like another setting, I think it would have been different. But it just happened that he's in the middle of shooting a video, and I'm old enough to understand. And to understand how that feels, because I have been in that position before, you know what I mean? Like, while we were doing JAG, you know what I mean? Like, people kind of put me in a place, I don't know why or whatever, and so they were I would have a lot of people come in and be like, I'm a shooter, I need to be sponsored by you, and and we did for a long time. We used to sponsor so many people and give them gear and set them up and pay for stuff for them and stuff. But it got to the point where I was like, everyone that I'm meeting are like these, special people that need to be sponsored, And so you kind of have to start looking at people a little bit different, And so I kind of understand what it is to be in that position where people are just always hitting you up because they want something. And so you kind of put this wall and stuff. And I kind of understand that that's probably where he is at, just because of where he's at. And how people interact with them all day. And so, yeah, I mean, like, I didn't want to be that guy that wanted to get something out of it. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted, if that's going to be the case, I wanted to be like a more even feel.
Like a more professional setting or something?
Yeah. So, so one day, you never know. It's good to have dreams and and goals. All right? What's your goal, Trevor? How many subscribers?
How many subscribers do I have right now?
No, how many subscribers do you want to have?
Maybe honestly, I don't really look at subscribers. I look at views.
Oh, views? Okay.
I think if you're getting views, because if you look at like the YouTube Studio app.
Oh yeah.
It tells you mostly people watch you from like maybe are not subscribed to you.
Oh yeah.
Because I seen your video about that.
Yeah, your ratio of subscribers versus.
It'll say like 80% is from non-subscribers. So why are more non-subscribers watching your content than people who are subscribing?
Because subscribers suck. No.
I've always been curious by that. Like, if you have, let's say, 10,000 subscribers, how come you're not getting 10,000 views? Every day or all the time?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, subscribers doesn't mean much.
Would you rather have 100,000 subscribers or get 100,000 views every day?
Yeah, I'll take the views. Yeah.
Yes, you take the views because people are interacting over.
Yeah.
Just having a lot of. Because look at Casey, for example. He's not getting 1 million views with 1 million comments.
No, he's not.
He's only getting
he's getting half
4,000 comments or something.
And probably 20% are only the subscribers, and 80% are actually coming from people that are not even subscribed to him.
Yeah, probably.
And that might be on the high end because, of his daily content coming out, you kind of go watch it, you subscribe and then you go watch it every day. So he might be on the high side, like other channels is probably less than that.
There are a lot of people that make, that sort of evergreen content, like probably Bass Player 101 does here, Trevor, where, if you want to learn something, it doesn't matter if the video was made in 2012 or today. It's like that or something like that, whereas a vlog is a little bit less.
It's like disposable.
Go a little bit less serially one-to-one.
Yeah, it's like disposable content somehow. People are like, this is a date. It's dated. It's dated content.
Right.
I think that's why he gets a lot of views, though, because his story, that's why people go back and watch his older vlogs.
Yeah.
Because he always has a message.
Sort of
like
story is all encapsulated on their own. Yeah.
But he does have like an inspirational kind of message when he first starts his vlog off, though.
Yeah. That's what I'm lacking. See, I'm like, screw the world. I'm hating you right now.
You're lacking message.
I'm lacking positiveness. Positiveness. Yeah. I'm kind of bitter right now. This is my bitter face.
It's all gonna go. It's all gonna turn around.
It's all gonna turn around.
All right, we should get going.
All right.
It's late here.
Oh, look at my battery's about to die too, because I'm in a different room since the whole mic thing or whatever.
I'm gonna cut out here.
All right, guys.
All right, later.
Mike, Trevor, thank you for joining us. Thank you for blabbing with us.
Stopping by, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. Pause recording. Oh, what questions do we have? Oh, man. The guide. Whatever. People are still giving you props because you're still on there. People are going to give you props until you disconnect, until they absolutely cannot. Oh, come on. How many people are giving you props? I didn't realize that people were giving me props. Has that been happening all the time? Yeah. Oh, come on. I mean, more so I think when you're gone, because now they're like, I think because you're still there, basically. All right, guys. I thought I'd shut this down. Wait, do you think you can be disruptive in YouTube? Man, my eyes are red. Like, you can tell that I'm tired. The screen for like 2 hours. Jeez. Yes, I think people can be disruptive in YouTube. I don't know if I can be disruptive. You know what I mean? One day, my confidence is going to grow enough to be able to answer that question, I think, more accurately. Right now, I don't know. We'll get to see. You were talking about someone who wanted to buy the Samba, and you briefly went into some of the budgeting. Did you ever run the numbers to figure out how much went into the whole thing? Yeah, I actually did the math because I had to insure it. And so I think actual money, I'm like 60,000 into it. That's not counting like all the battery that EV West, that Michael, are you still on there? But yeah, but if I were to add my time, that's a lot. It's like how much I value my time and how much I was paying myself per hour at that time. It's in the hundreds of thousands that went into that stupid car, So, no, I don't want to sell it. It's irreplaceable. I mean, I don't get that time back. It's
Dude, did you see that?
What? No.
Wait until January 27th. Apparently, a 21 Windows Samba will be on sale for 7 figures.
Wait, 7 figures? It's 7 figures, like $1 million? Why? Who? Where did you see that? Like, what do you mean? That's the. Just go park next to them. Yeah, I mean, one sold this year, right, for 350. But I mean, it was a one of a kind. That's that's like a special specimen. It's not like your everyday Samba. Yeah, 7 figure, I guess, maybe. I mean, classic cars are one of those things that you can not go wrong. You know what I mean? Like you can. The Bear Jackson auto auction. We'll send you a link. Wow. Well, if someone comes and offers me 7 figures, I'd sell it. I'd be like, "Where's the money? Give me the money."
All right,
All right, guys, I gotta go. It's late. We really didn't have the time to do this today, but because we weren't going to be able to do it tomorrow, we did it today. Look at those eyes. Yeah, I shouldn't be here anymore. I should be editing a video right now. Okay. All right, guys. Bye. How do I